How's it going, YouTube? It's me, the Cool Loser, and I'm going to tell you why I switched from the Galaxy S4 to the Nexus 5. After this video, I got one more to show you what's on my phone and the tweaks that I made on my stock Nexus ROM. You're going to want to watch that one. The Nexus 5 is not for everybody, as it lacks flagship features from other devices, but it's not about all those features. It's about functionality, the way Google intended it to be, and you'll get the fastest updates before anyone else does. Pretty much the same exact size. The S4 has an IR blaster to control your TV, but I never used it anyways. I don't need it on the next phone either. I never had to remove the back cover unless it was to take out the SIM card. Never had to replace the battery, so if you seal it off for a better design, I'm happy with that. But I don't want people thinking that the S4 is bad, because I loved it, and I'm a big fan of Samsung. But I think I'm even bigger of a Nexus fan, especially with this Nexus 5 has won me over big time. The Nexus 5 is a few months old, it's not new, but it doesn't mean that it can't keep up with new phones. Even though with the Nexus 6 right around the corner for the end of this year, I'm gonna be ready for that one. Even though Nexus phones don't get all the cool features that other devices do, I have the Galaxy S4, yet I didn't use any of those features. I'm sure a lot of you guys love them and they're so convenient, but for my lifestyle, I don't need the eye tracking, I don't need the air gestures, I don't need the multi-split windows, I don't need the smart scrolling, and all the rest of the apps for like health, which are really great features, but unfortunately they're not meant for me. So that's how I've always known that I'm a pure Nexus guy. TouchWiz is not bad as they make it out to be. A lot of people said it's slow and ugly. I thought it ran perfectly fine, but even though it was running just fine, I still wanted a Nexus experience, so that's why I put on an AOSP ROM that looked like a Nexus, but you might think different. You might have a Nexus and be like, you want those features, you should have gone for a Galaxy S4. Well, then you can know that you can root your phone instead of having to buy a new one, or better yet, if you don't like any of these phones, use your current phone. Root it and put a new ROM on it so you can have a Google-like phone, and find the ROM that actually has these type of features for your device. The Nexus 5 is definitely not for everybody. The 8 megapixel camera might not be good enough for you, the 1.3 front megapixel, the design, the LCD display, the size, the battery, possibly the on-screen buttons that I happen to love. It all comes down to preference, but the bigger picture for me is functionality. And in this entire video, I've been doing a side-by-side comparison through every app to see how it functions, and they are so close. So even though one phone is cheaper than the other, I haven't sacrificed anything yet. I carried both of these devices in my pocket on a sunny day, and everyone was like, why do you have two phones? And I told them, why do you have two hands? Two iron balls. But I carried them so I can do a side-by-side comparison everywhere I was, so that I can get a fair comparison out in the real world. And in direct sunlight, the LCD performs much brighter than the LED screen does. And trust me, I'm always preferring AMOLED screens over LCD, but LCD has their positives, and I'm getting used to that LCD where I'm loving it the more and more I use it. I'll be open-minded to try LCD screens from here on, I think. I still think the HTC devices have the best LCD for Android. And here you're looking at the Nexus camera app. It's not that easy. It's kind of hard to get to the controls. Not that great.
So guess what? As soon as I started reviewing the camera app and I said how not that great it is, they updated the app. And I can swipe over here and I bring up different options. You go to lens blur, which is really cool. And I'll show you a captured image in this little section right here. If you click on it, you're allowed to alter the blur and it's gonna focus on here. And you see that as soon as I start doing that, it defocuses the background. You could actually go into the focused area too. It worked very nicely. The controls have gotten a little bit easier, so it should be a lot more enjoyable now.
But the Galaxy S4 is very easy. You can switch between lots of modes. You can take multiple shots by holding onto the shutter. You can pause during your recordings. You just have much better options on the Galaxy S4. But that's nothing that another separate application can help you on. That's the best part about Android. If you don't like that app, get another app. And I'm almost done talking. So the main keys why I switched back to Nexus is because I love that clean front look. The all black, no logos, bezels are low. I love the on-screen buttons because I can remove them anytime I want. Not without root, unfortunately. But who knows, the next update may have that option to remove them. But I like them on the screen. Even though it does take space, I don't accidentally press them, and I love that I can just touch it and it'll go to it. And for those who are wanting to know how I did this, I rooted my device and it took me 2 minutes, and I'm gonna have the third and final video on this Nexus, and I'll be sharing what's on my phone and how I tweaked it with this application. Until next time, guys, tune in for that video. Thank you for joining, and I will see you guys next time. Later.